All right, we'll take a look at how these two square off against each other here tonight. Ponce de Leon and Al Seeger. If we can get those numbers up for us.
Well, we know one thing for sure. Al Seeger's the taller guy.
He sure is, and he has the advantages, and there you see it fairly dramatically. And that will all play into the styles again, once again here tonight. Look at that difference in height, 5'8" to 5'5". Look at that difference in reach, 6 inches in reach. And Seeger plans to use every inch of that, Joe, to make it count.
He will need to. Outside versus inside. Seeger versus De Leon.
Unified rules are in effect here for this World Championship fight. There is no 3 knockdown rule nor standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop the fight. The fighters can't be saved by the bell in any round. And of course the accidental foul rule at the end of 4 rounds. We go to the cards.
Seeger, make no mistake about it, a substantial underdog in this title fight. He has the style to pull it off, but does he have the overall experience to do it? He went to a Savannah, Georgia boxing gym at age 10, the only gym in town. He's grown into a smart and capable boxer. Said that all the pressure is on De Leon, that everyone expects him to come up short.
And of course, with all those fights that you're talking about that he had in Savannah, he always had the crowd backing. He will not have that tonight. And what he'll try to do is emulate Manuel Garnica to get the fighters to turn against, get the fans to turn against the favorite of the crowd.
What he's hoping is that the judges won't mirror that split decision. There are those in the boxing biz who dismiss Daniel Ponce de Leon as a raw, wild swinging puncher. Ponce de Leon says his skill is improving. Now, the original Paso de Leon searched for the fountain of youth. This one searching for the river of respect. Respect that has eluded him, even though he has already acquired a title. And for that to happen, Ponce de Leon needs to show the ability to adapt and to deal with a tall and slick boxer. He wasn't able to do that in his lone career loss against Celestino Caballero. But the good news is the southpaw slugger has big opportunities right in front of him for his career and trying to gain respect starting tonight. For the official introductions, here's Lupe Contreras.
From the Don Haskins Center in El Paso, Texas, we present to you an evening of Mexican glory being brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, in association with Don Chargan Productions, Southwest Airlines, the new Tampico Energy Drink with its powerful citrus taste. Tampico Energy Drink es el más bravo, and HBO Pay-Per-View. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Featherweight and IBA Super Bantamweight Championships of the world. WBO Supervisor, Rafael Lopez Santos. Supervising for the IBA, Norm Longton. The judges are Ruben Carrion, Levi Martinez, and Gail Van Oy. The referee, Lawrence Gold. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 world titles on the line, 2 champions representing the USA and Mexico, the moment has come to find out who is El Más Macho. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he steps into the ring wearing dark blue trimmed in light blue, weighing in at 122 pounds. His professional record, 27 victories, with 1 lone defeat, and 21 of his victories coming by way of knockout. The IBA Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, from Savannah, Georgia, Al Quiet Storm Seeger. Across the ring in the red corner, He steps in wearing black trunks trimmed in gold and weighing in at an identical 122 pounds. As an amateur, he proudly represented his homeland of Mexico in the 2000 Olympics. And as a pro, he maintains a record consisting of 29 victories, with 1 defeat and 27 of his victories coming by way of knockout. The WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, de Cuauhtémoc, Chihuahua, Mexico, Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Al, Daniel. Let's go, Daniel.
I can never quite figure out why a guy like De Leon needs 10 people in his corner prior to the introduction.
Touch him up.
Al Seeger had only 2 in the old style in his corner.
It has been a highly entertaining pay-per-view card here in El Paso. Jerry Penaloso with the knockout win.
Come on, Jojo.
The prospect Antonio Escalante with the knockout win. The controversial but entertaining fight between Lezcano and Garnica. And now this tremendously interesting stylistic matchup between the brawler and the boxer.
One thing about Al Seeger that we should touch on too, if he gets a chance, he's not a pity-pat light puncher. He has 21 KOs in his 27 victories, so he's got some punch.
Showed a pretty good right hand there to open this thing up. He thought that that would be one of the big keys to this fight, the fact that they don't respect his punch, but you got to respect that left hand out of De Leon.
And he threw it there.
Remember, it was only 52 seconds into his last fight that he had his arm lifted and an unconscious opponent opposite him. There's a right hand from Seeger.
Saad Lukman Yantoy of Thailand was knocked out face first, and right now Al Seeger has already lasted longer than did Saad.
Saad was planted inside. There's that big sweeping left hand to the body from Ponce de Leon.
See, that's when he gets back more into the amateurish stuff there, Joe. Now, the first left hook, and again, yeah, see, the wide lunging punches like that are probably not going to land on Seeger here tonight. But he did land a straight left in the first 30 seconds, which was the same kind of punch that he knocked Saad out with.
Says he hears the criticism from the press and from the boxing insiders as to his style, but he says the fans love his style, so why would he ever want to change that?
I'll tell you one thing about Seeger. He's really enjoyed the week here this week. He was smiling the whole week, very polite and courteous to everybody. Even had a smile when he came into the ring, mugging for our cameras a little bit.
And let me add to that by saying that he declared this a business trip. Friends and family from Georgia, if they came, it was on them. He wasn't going to take part in the festivities. This was all about business and creating a better future. Tries with the straight right hand behind the jab. And now you see the movement. And Ponce de Leon with the wide swinging left and then the right to the body. And they tie up. Left hand of Seeger under the right arm of Ponce de Leon.
By the way, Celestino Caballera, who really handed De Leon a decisive defeat, is here in the arena to challenge the winner tonight.
Ray Torres will interpret for us for Mario Morales.
Hey, you're getting too fluffy, you're getting too excited.
Dame una botella.
Come on, give me a bottle.
During the break, watch the kidney punches.
No quieres. Escúchame bien. No quieres.
You don't want any?
Un poquitito más. Un poquito desesperado.
Yeah,
No
you gotta
salgas
do
con la
desperate
izquierda,
now.
esa prepárala,
Yeah.
¿me entiendes?
Prepare that left hand. He's moving on you. Yeah, he's moving to the same side. He's not doing nothing.
No te va a aguantar porque está muy fuerte. Te está corriendo, no está llaveando.
Right, first round action was interesting from long range. Beautiful right cross by Seeger. Got that wide stance of his. But Ponce de Leon, there was the one straight left that he did land. That was the best looking punch, too, that he threw in the round.
The other ones were quite ugly. Wide and sweeping to the waistline. And you heard referee Lawrence Cole warn the corner of Daniel Ponce de Leon to watch the kidney punches. But such is the case with the type of punches he throws matched against the in-and-out style and back-turning of Seeger.
I think one of the keys to victory for Seeger here tonight, too, Joe, is to make Ponce de Leon pay for it when he throws those wide, long, lunging punches and misses. He's got to put something right on him. When he throws those wild shots, give him a little something to think about afterward.
Seeger had to think about shaking off a left hand moments ago as De Leon scored. Now he goes on the attack for a moment, tries the right hand. De Leon places a straight left, not looping to the body that time. Misses with the right hook and then throws an awkward left hand where he fell forward with that back foot. Seeger to the inside, he ties up. He wants no part of Ponce de Leon there.
Jabbing a big key tonight for Seeger. If he can land the jab against the southpaw, not always the easiest thing, but to throw him off balance as he comes in. He's moving, he's circling to his left. Seeger is to attempt to get away from the punching power of Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Biggest step-up fight in the career of the 26-year-old Savannah, Georgia native Al Seeger. He does have a win over a recent world champion. That's Eric Aiken, and he got up off the canvas to earn that win. And now you can see, as he's bent over and tied up, Ponce de Leon taking a couple extra shots to the body. Comes in hard charging with a left hand. Boy, is he awkward. Wild swinger, and as they separate, Seeger places a left hand.
That's making him pay. Ponce de Leon, when they get in close like that, he needs to throw that left hook to the body. That's his money punch, that left hand.
Getting ugly on the inside. Lawrence Cole, the son of Texas Commissioner Dickie Cole, and a well-experienced referee, is going to take a little bit of control of this fight early on.
Although boxing fans, nice right hand by Seeger coming in as De Leon came in at him. We're disappointed, of course, by the Juan Manuel Marquez fight falling out tonight. De Leon was just elated to be elevated to the main event.
Look at me. Ow. Ow. You're twitching over his head, son. You hear me? Slow down and time yourself. You gotta relax now. When you twist to relax, stay down and fucking on your right hook. Let me deep breath. Let me deep breath. You hear me? Start relaxing now. Look at me. All right, man. Put in. You gotta start putting them together, son.
All right, let's take a look at some of the action. There's that left now. Seeger coming forward, and Ponce de Leon, bap, as they were attempting to be broken by Lawrence Cole, drew a warning there. Of course, Seeger initiated that himself as well by just coming in face forward like that.
Al Seeger, nicknamed the Quiet Storm, will need to be heard from offensively at some point. See if he turns it on a little bit here in this third round. Moving on the outside, but circling to his right. He's got to be careful of that left hand of Ponce de Leon. Loaded with power. and cranked up and always ready to be fired off.
And Ponce de Leon coming forward now a little bit faster and closing that distance between himself and Seeger. And again, on the inside, he's just a handful. He throws that elbow, he throws the shoulder. Even those who feel that De Leon will win here tonight, more ugliness.
You're reaching out and grabbing him, all right? You can't do that. You understand me? All right, that's your first warning.
Even those who felt that De Leon would win here tonight felt that he would face tough moments and at times be made to look bad by Seeger, but that eventually he would catch up to him, and then we'd see about Seeger's chin.
Seeger's finding out that Ponce de Leon has very little to do with boxing. A fight is truly a fight to him.
De Leon says that he's been working on his technique in the gym. They're trying to make him a little bit more polished. But sometimes a fighter's awkwardness and unorthodox nature can work to his advantage. Although
there's that left hand to the body, Rich.
And Ponce de Leon, this is the first time in the fight I feel that his punches are beginning to have some effect.
And if you're saying that with a minute to go in round number 3, then good luck to Al Seeger as the second half of this fight gets underway. Chops down with the right hand after the left hand.
Al's having a little more difficulty getting away from those punches now. And there is a wide disparity in the punching power between these two. And look at De Leon, he'll just hit you anywhere. He doesn't care really where it is. He's going to throw punches. If he hits you on the arm, fine. On the elbow, good. On the hip, that's okay.
Marciano style. Beat your man down. Maybe he won't be raising those arms in a few rounds if you keep hitting there enough. Well-placed left hand again. Seeger tries head movement, and when that doesn't work, he falls in and ties up. Lunges in, and Seeger, that's a slip. But I'll tell you what, he was stunned for a moment. It's just that his feet gave out. Yeah. Tied up with De Leon.
Seeger is getting hit some here, and he's feeling it.
Call it a slip all you want. That was a huge round for Daniel Ponce de Leon, the 122-pound belt holder.
Are you all right? Put your hands down. Breathe.
Watch the feet.
All right, here's that sequence. There you see the feet get tangled, and he's actually stepping on Seeger's foot at that point. But prior to that, Seeger had been rocked just a little, and he ran into that right hand. Look at these angles these punches are coming from. Seeger's never seen anything like this style, for sure. Not in Savannah, Georgia.
You got to look good now. You know what he's got? He's got nothing. Now we got to go to more calm. Feint him. And then the right hand is going to prepare everything for the left.
Seeing this style in Savannah, Georgia, you barely see boxing in Savannah, Georgia. Mike Gerald has the only gym in town, and that's where a 10-year-old Al Seeger walked into 16 years ago. And now as a 26-year-old, he has found himself with this moment, fighting for a belt and the ability to advance himself. But what a challenge he has in front of him. Well, here comes Lawrence Cole to clear things up.
122-pound division. Very interesting, though. Lawrence Cole's got his hands full in this one. Very interesting division because you've got this mountain of strength, Israel Vasquez. You've got the pure boxer, Johnny Gonzalez. You've got Rafael Marquez coming up.
How about Rafi Marquez, Israel Vasquez? What a treat that would be.
Oh.
Or what about Daniel Ponce de Leon and his continued growth and his reckless style getting in the mix among those two elites?
And that's where they want to point him. But not yet. Good little sneaky right by Seeger.
Seeger has not earned De Leon's respect the way he said he would with his deceptive power. De Leon able to come right in through the front door and do as he pleases.
Daniel doesn't get too discouraged by missing. He's right there with another one.
Oh, that was a solid left hand, and Seeger hits the canvas.
Well thrown, technically correct.
6, 7, 8.
Every once in a while, he mixes in one of those correctly thrown punches, and you see the result.
Straight is great, finds out Ponce. Minute to go, round 4. Can Seeger survive it? He's been down before and come back to win, but not against this level and not against this power. Another left hand comes crashing home. And he's pushing down on the head as if the left hands aren't enough.
The great equalizer we talked about in our pre-fight comments. This kid can crack.
And as he noted, why change the style when the fans love it? They are on their feet here in El Paso.
He's roughing Seeger up now, too. Kind of just mauling him on the ropes, brutalizing him.
Stop.
Seeger made it through, but is it only a matter of time for Ponce de Leon?
Get your hands there.
Deep breath, son. Give me a deep breath.
You gotta quit fucking wrestling with this kid. You hear me? Now, get your balance. Use your fucking hands. Bit of work. Pop. And you gotta shoot for that star in the middle of his stomach with your right hand. You hear me? You're going over his head. Hold on.
First knockdown of the fight, recorded by Ponce de Leon with that straight left hand, a thing of beauty. But it followed the right jab. They told him in his corner that if he jabbed with the right, that the power would follow, and they weren't lying. And that's good to see from the standpoint of a kid setting things up, Joe, because he set up the left cross with the perfect right jab.
26-year-old titleist told us that he thinks he's been improving, that you'll see it in the way he executes his combinations. We believed it in the 4th round. He's trying to cut down the ring now and find the elusive Al Seeger.
And something that Seeger really needs is to get some respect from De Leon. He might get it with more of those straight rights. He's got a good quick right. It's a short right hand. It's sneaky. He can throw it straight, or he throws a little twisting uppercut. But he's not putting that on Ponce de Leon. So De Leon is just walk. There it is. There's that right hand. See, that will stop De Leon in his tracks.
On cue, Rich. And that's really needed by Seeger. You got to try to slow down the Raging Bull. Another well-placed left hand, and now Seeger is absorbing. There's that short right hand. Timed it, countered against the left hand of Ponce. Ponce back to the jab and keeps coming forward, and a strong short right hand staggers Seeger.
That's not the punch that Seeger's expecting. See that? The one you don't expect, the one you're not looking for, can often be the trouble spot.
So worried about the left hands, he forgot about the right hook from the devastating punching southpaw. Boy, that would serve him well if he went back to it. There's the straight left. Final minute of this 5th round.
De Leon is a wild swinger, boy. He is a free swinger.
Fun to watch.
Well, he doesn't want to be in this corner. Seeger better escape from there real quick.
I don't know at this point where Seeger wants to be.
Perhaps Savannah, Georgia?
Perhaps. Watching the boats go down the river. Now, look at that. Look at that.
What was that?
If you're Lawrence Cole, wow, I'm actually surprised there's no point deduction there. Cole's a good referee, an experienced guy. Wants to try to keep this thing fresh, safe, clean. But that was quite obvious. That was a tie-up and a break, and then a tomahawk chop from Ponce de Leon.
It was like bringing the hammer down.
Get some water, son. Stand down. Breathe deep. Breathe deep. What's going on, son? What's the matter? Get your fucking balance. You hear me? So you got to do like a 1, 2, 3 with your shoulder. What you're doing is letting your hands down and bending back just because you're missing the punches. You're laying in one every once in a while. You letting him land.
Throwing the punches, son.
Do you hear me? Just like we did in the camp, son. You in good shape.
When you fight Ponce de Leon, you better be in store for a true fight.
Yeah, you're not going to have a polite fight. As you can see, there's a variety of blows that kind of bend the rules. We're just...
It's got a little bit of everything. The rabbit punches, the kidney shots. There's one right there.
It's all part of the arsenal. Wild punches that become just dirty fighting, but it's all part of the arsenal.
Here's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the hammer.
Round 6. Heading towards the halfway point of this 122-pound bout. Joe Tessitore and Rich Murata with you.
No punching, no punching, stop.
Problem for Seeger is De Leon is not slowed down a bit.
Seeger has only shown 2 or 3 glimpses of the short right hand that he boasted of, and that has been successful when he's committed to it. But it's tough to make that decision when you know what's coming back in return, Rich.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know. You're hesitant because you don't know what's coming. You know, especially with this guy. He bends to throw a left hand and he throws the right from the other side. I mean, it really is very, very difficult to prepare for this.
That was one of those wide swinging left hands that caught Seeger. Seeger was bent over, not where he wants to be.
We mentioned some of those other champions, you know, like Israel Vasquez and Rafael Marquez going from 118 to 120. They're far more polished than Daniel Ponce de Leon at this point. And I don't think that Daniel could hang with those guys right now. That's not to say that he
can. I think they'd counter him all night long. But I think there's going to be a point, don't you, Rich, where in the near future, fans will be very excited to see him against those elite 118, moving up to 122s and onward.
Sure.
To the featherweights.
Because he is actually, believe it or not, more polished now than he was a few fights ago.
Scary thought.
And he's going to get better. They are trying to develop some technique. But you don't want to tone it down too much because some of that craziness that he gives you helps him.
Fans don't. TV networks don't. There's that short right hand from Seeger. Ponce de Leon not only unaffected, but on the attack.
He walked right through it. De Leon just looks like he's ignoring the Seeger power shot.
Picking his spots now with ease. And Seeger becoming a much more manageable target. End of 6. Ponce de Leon in control.
You gotta put more pressure on him. But yeah, but then he counters, so you gotta watch out for his right hand. Give me the spit bucket.
pegando fuera de servicio.
Yeah.
No te está cacheteando los golpes, mijo. ¿Por qué? Ese momento lo está dejando crecer.
You're letting them stiff
derechazos,
live. Right
No
hand.
dejes crecer, trabájalo, hermano.
Don't let him
Mira,
get
golpe más
big.
chico, trabájalo
Work
por donde
more.
tú quieras. No, se está moviendo para su izquierda, ¿verdad? Péscalo con la derecha, el gancho derecho y los hoppers, ¿dónde están, mijo?
We've detailed some of the dirty shots from Daniel Ponce de Leon. Take a look at what he came up with in the last round.
Yeah, and I don't think, Seeger can do anything about this. It's going to have to be Lawrence Cole, basically. That was a clubbing punch to the back of the neck.
Very dangerous punch.
Watching it right there. See, he came down with his whole forearm. And Lawrence Cole, the referee's going to have to get that under control if he can. But Ponce just kind of gets out of control sometimes.
Round 7. What can Seeger do to stop this?
It looks as though he's still got some bounce in his legs. He's got to be more active with his jab, and certainly that straight right he could throw, because he throws it with the crispness. There's the jab. Jab on the move. You would say keep Ponce de Leon off balance, but he doesn't seem to care if he's off balance or not.
Straight left. That height advantage and that strategy of fighting at distance and utilizing the jab and bringing a right hand behind it, it just hasn't developed for the taller Al Seeger. He's not keeping Daniel honest, and instead it's another left hand that weakens the legs of Al Seeger.
Now Seeger went down. Is this going to be called a knockdown? He got hit on the back of the head again. Is this a knockdown? Well, I'm not sure what it was.
There was no count at 8 to inspect the fighter by Lawrence Cole, but there also wasn't a wave off of a slip.
He's grinding Seeger down, though.
Have to assume no knockdown.
And De Leon he's like a wind-up doll, Joe. He can throw. It seems like just countless punches. In his first fight with the Thai fighter side that we talked about earlier, he averaged 92 punches around. He threw over 1,000 punches.
Then in the rematch, he threw 1. And it was a left hand that scored the first round knockout. And that's the beauty of Daniel Ponce de Leon, that he gives you the impression at any time it could be coming.
He is just a mauler.
Seeger's taking a lot here now as we come to the close of this 7th round.
Right, it's getting to be a bit of a mugging in there at this point.
Welcome to Ponce's world.
There's your example.
Come here.
Time to have a chat with Lawrence Cole.
You know better. Let's box. You understand me? All right. Come on, please. What's wrong with you? I don't know. You gotta get up. Kyle. Give me some water. Take some water. Drink it.
Drink the damn water.
Drink it.
Drink it.
Give me
You're not putting nothing together, son. You gotta get some.
Quit spitting it out. You got water in your mouth, son. Drink it. Damn. Fucking do it.
Son, put the damn shots together.
Look at me. Which ones? You all right? Yeah.
Combinations. Right hand, left hook.
Well, they're seeing a little something new almost every round. Now that's a solid, well-thrown left hand by Ponce de Leon. It rocked him, but watch how he puts him down. Again with the forearm across the back. Now good jab there by Seeger, but De Leon completely unaffected by it. He misses the punch. He's still unaffected by it, so he just grabs him and throws him to the ground.
Round 8. Alongside Rich Murata, I'm Joe Tessitore. Daniel Ponce de Leon in complete control against Al Seeger, who came in with grand visions of boxing his way to an upset and claiming a 122-pound title.
Okay, 1 point for holding. You keep reaching out. You've got a punch.
Well,
-1
after
for
all
holding.
of that, it is Seeger who is getting a point deducted.
-1 holding, -1 holding.
After
you understand me?
all those
Can't let it
fouls
keep
from
going on
Ponce
like
de
this, all
Leon,
right?
it's Al
Come in,
Seeger who
box.
gets a point deducted.
It's almost comical. Now, granted, Seeger has been holding, but Lawrence Cole, and here's the irony of this, Lawrence Cole, a referee who's very well accomplished and very well respected, but early in his career was criticized at times for looking out too much for the fighter's safety and calling fights quickly and being too sensitive to the safety concerns and the dirty stuff, is looking the other way with Daniel Ponce de Leon tonight.
I tell you, when Daniel throws that left cross, straight left cross, he turns it over nicely, Joe. It's well thrown. Now that one was wide, but it still landed. At this point, he's even able to land those.
We saw that beautifully thrown, technically correct punch in the 4th round. That's when Seeger went down. We've seen a mix of everything else since then. At times the straight left, the wide looping left, had an instance of success with the right hook, and plenty of dirty tactics and fouls. That time, almost a left elbow to the back of the head.
I think Ponce might be close to finishing it now.
I think Seeger agrees.
I think I'm looking at the legs of Seeger and just his body language, and he looks like to me like he's a man on the way down.
And this fight is going to be over right now because the corner of Al Seeger has stepped in and done the correct and merciful thing.
I don't know how anybody's ever going to prepare to fight this guy. What are you going to get, sparring partners who come in with that style? Be hard to find.
Be better off sparring with a pit bull in an alley. Ponce de Leon.
Gracias.
26-year-old Al Seeger. He had won 8 straight fights dating back to 2004. He did have the win over the recent world titleist Eric Aiken, but that man, the Mexican native, the wild swinging southpaw, the go-forward slugger, he slugged away. There was a seminal moment in that 8th round, a moment when Seeger, when almost all hope was lost, had this happen to him. They go in, he ties up just for a moment, and then Lawrence Cole takes time and takes a point away. As if being beaten down by Daniel Ponce de Leon isn't bad enough. And then Ponce de Leon, Seeger had nothing left, trying to tie up again. The titleist gets loose, clubbing shots, and Mike Gerald in the corner of Al Seeger. And Gerald's been with him for 16 years now, since his amateur days as a young boy in Savannah. Got up on the canvas and said, "I've seen enough." For the official particulars, let's send it up to the ring to Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, the request of the blue corner, referee Lawrence Cole stops the bout with an official time of 1 minute, 43 seconds of round number 8. Your winner, by way of technical knockout, and now WBO Junior Featherweight and IBA Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, Daniel Ponce de Leon.
2000 Olympian with the Mexican team. World titleist at 122 pounds. And now the 30th win in the career of Daniel Ponce de Leon. He is 30-1 with 28 knockouts. Al Seeger, just the 2nd loss in his career. Seeger falls to 27-2. He tried to give that focused and determined effort. He needed to fight the perfect fight and box his way to a win, but he was swarmed, smothered, and beaten down with Daniel Ponce de Leon, who's now standing by with Ray Torres and Rich Murata. Rich.
All right, thanks very much. Juan Manuel Marquez was just here to congratulate the winner, Daniel Ponce de Leon. Congratulations, Daniel. Very good win for you here tonight. Tell us about the fight and how you feel that it went along for you.
Felicidades, buena pelea. Dinos qué pasó.
El boxeador era corría mucho y corría, me amarraba cuando estaba en corto, pero fui poco a poco subiendo, fui de menos a más.
Yeah, well, he's a fast guy and he holds a lot, but we knew we were going to get him. We went from little to more.
Did his movement give you any trouble at all in the first couple of rounds?
¿El movimiento de él te dio problema en los primeros rounds?
Sí, en los primeros rounds corría mucho, salía a boxear, moverse en el ring, a correr, pero fui de menos a más, ahí iba bien.
Yeah, he did, but we knew we were going to catch him later on.
You seemed to just throw everything you possibly had, whether it be straight or wide, whatever. Were you just going to put so many punches on him until he finally fell?
Se miró que tú tiraste todo clase de golpe, tirabas esto a lo loco en algunas veces, directo, eso. Tú sabías que por fin lo ibas a agarrar con algo.
Sí, yo pues tengo que tirar golpes, salí a tirar golpes, a golpearlo y a tirar por todos lados, ¿no? Porque donde pudiera conectarlo, porque él abrazaba, amarraba. Él hizo su pelea y pues tuve que hacer la mía yo también a mi manera.
Yeah, I knew I had to do my fight. I knew how to throw punches from all angles. He kept holding me. I had to make my fight, and that is my fight.
Right, and if you miss, you don't get discouraged. You just come right back.
Y si tú fallas, pues tú no importa, tú sigues tirando.
Sí, no importa, yo estoy consciente de que es una pelea y muchas veces uno que recibir golpes, pero yo sabía que él iba a agarrarlo tarde o temprano y estaba ganando los rounds.
Yeah, I knew that. If I miss, I knew I had to keep. It's a fight, so you have to keep punching. I knew that sooner or later I was going to get him.
Yes. Now, what about the future? Where do you think you go from here?
Yeah, para el futuro, ¿qué hay?
No sé, vamos a hablar con el promotor, con Golden Boy, con Oscar de la Hoya, para ver qué es lo que tiene en puerta en el futuro y a prepararnos igual, a seguir peleando.
Yeah. I don't know what's in the future. I got to speak to Oscar de la Hoya and Golden Boy, see what they have, and I'll be prepared for that.
I see Mr. Caballero here. Would you like to fight him again at some point?
Yeah. Aquí está el Caballero. ¿Te gustaría pelear con él en el futuro?
Sí, él es un buen peleador. Ya me tocó pelear con él. Es un buen peleador, un boxeador. Y sí, en el futuro tal vez se pueda dar la revancha, que él es campeón y yo. Una buena unificación.
Yeah, Caballero is a good fighter. He beat me once, and he's a champion now, and so am I. There'd be unification. It'd be great.
That's it. That's Celestino Caballero, who defeated Ponce de Leon, the only loss in Ponce de Leon's career. Well, congratulations, Ponce. A very good win for you here tonight. We'll see you soon in the future.
Felicidades, Ponce. Buena victoria.
Thank you, God bless you. Thank you for your support. Thank you.
There he is, a champion who successfully defended here once again tonight. Okay, Joe.
It would be a very attractive rematch to see Ponce de Leon in there with the other title holder at 122 pounds, Celestino Caballero. Ponce de Leon did the damage throughout, bruising, clubbing shots, swarming over his opponent, Al Seeger, in the 8th round, and earning a beatdown TKO as the corner of Al Seeger came up to the corner and said, "We have seen enough." So Ponce de Leon gets the victory. De La Hoya celebrating with the 122-pound titleist, posing for the pictures. If only he could have an ounce of that technique to go along with the raw, crude, brutal style, he could really develop into something. Rich,